Hey, what's up? This is Wyatt from the Big Beats Baby YouTube channel. Um, just gonna talk you through a trap beat that I just put together. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hear the audio. Yep, that's great. I don't know why it's like that, but for whatever reason, I can't hear the audio in the video that's playing right now. That's probably fine. Right now I'm just adding looks like kicks and snares, and that's usually how I start off. Um, yeah, again, I can't hear this, but you will be able to hear it in the actual video, hopefully, and maybe I can figure out a way to get it so I can actually hear it when I'm doing the voiceover. Let me see. Yeah, so right now I'm adding some snares. I have a couple different snare sounds that I'm using here. I think having a couple snares makes the drum pattern sound more interesting for sure. Yeah, just still going over these snares, trying to get the pattern right. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this whole thing without hearing the audio, but that's what I'm doing right now, it looks like. Yeah, so I can probably not talk through this whole section, but just trying to get the kick and the snares placed correctly here. Looks like I'm just replacing a kick sound with a snare sound there. So this is what I've been doing lately. I've been going on Splice. Before I was using just the default kicks for my beats in Ableton, which is probably not ideal. There's probably some better kick sounds out there. The 707 kick sound in Ableton, I was listening to it, and it was not sounding. It sounds weird a little bit, and maybe that's just because I've heard it a lot. But it's not really this kick sound I like. Actually, this is also a default kick sound in Ableton. But this it's punchier for sure, and I like it a lot. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to find more kick sounds, or no, just drum sounds in general, and also I would like to also find some samples. Whether that's vocal, primarily just vocal samples I want to find more of, for sure. So I had a Splice account, and right now it looks like I'm doing the hi-hat, and I was playing around. I was trying to potentially use a couple hi-hat sounds. It didn't work out for this project. I can just let you know in advance. But that's something too I want to maybe try to experiment with. When I used to use FL Studio, I think you can obviously do it in Ableton too, I'm sure, but it was really easy to pitch the hi-hats. And this one, I haven't really played around with it that much, but in Ableton, it's not the same. So that's one thing that I like in FL Studio, but that's like one of the few things in FL Studio that I prefer over Ableton. Mostly everything else, I prefer Ableton for sure. But yeah, I am just right now, looks like I'm still playing with the hi-hats. And so I'll make this pattern, and I think I'm gonna copy it here. Yep. Copy it a couple times. Yep. And I wanted to do a commentary for these videos, and I don't know, maybe this is not something that I continue to do, but I wanted to at least try it out, just to explain kind of what I'm doing. Just looking at the project file, you might not get all the good stuff that I've learned, and not that I know everything, obviously. There's so much more that I don't know. I never know if I'm doing the right thing necessarily. I just am trying to see what sounds good, and I'll experiment. Maybe there's a new kick sound, or just a technique that I stumble across and maybe that sounds better. I mean, I have some friends who do music, and I learn from them as well. But yeah, just not that what I'm doing is, like, I'm not an authority on beat making, but I just wanted to explain kind of what it is that I'm doing here. So I broke up and I also, too, I think initially I didn't have like a cymbal sound, and I just added that in. But what I'm doing here is just isolating each of the sounds that I used for this kick, or this drum pattern. And usually I just group all the snare sounds into one. But other than that, I'll isolate the kick, hi-hats, cymbals, and then the snares will be in one group as well. And just, it makes it easier to kind of mix and match, take out the snares sometimes, take out the cymbals sometimes. And yeah, and that's something I play around with a lot too, is trying to find a good drum pattern, what arrangement works best. So the cymbal I haven't always been using, but I think it helps to I think build and release tension, I guess. Like, some parts of the beat will have the cymbal, and then when it cuts out, you'll maybe not consciously notice it, but it does kind of break up the beat and make it, I think, a little more interesting. And that goes for other stuff too, but I think the cymbal isn't something that I don't always use, but I have been using it recently because I think it makes the beat sound a little more interesting, for sure. Right now, it looks like I'm looking for a synth sound, and that's something too. There's a lot of synths that I've made. There's some that I've found. Like, there's a bunch of bell sounds that I just found, and that wasn't like a paid pack. I think I just typed in like bell sounds for Serum, something like that, and just whatever popped up, that's what I downloaded. So I think that's one of the sounds I'm using right now. I change it, just FYI, kind of a spoiler. I will change it. I just didn't, because I think I pitch it down, and then when it's pitched down, it doesn't sound right, so I had to find another sound that sounds better lower. Yeah, so right now I'm just coming up with the melody, and yeah, I think melody is definitely something that, at least for me, when I'm hearing beats, I definitely, if there's a cool melody, that is like the difference sometimes between me liking a song and not liking a song. So I definitely think that the melody is something that I try to work on and get right for sure. Not that I always get it. Sometimes you just stumble across like a really cool melody. Sometimes it's a good melody, but I mean, I guess what I can control is just doing these beats. If you sit down every day and make a beat, maybe some melodies will sound cooler than others, but it's real. I think it really comes down to just making the beats, and sometimes you're gonna find something that's super cool, and sometimes you're gonna find something that's good. This melody, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's bad, and sometimes it takes me a while to get it right, but for this, I think it was pretty quick. I can't actually hear this, but I can see it, and I see what I'm doing. And I just did it, and I'm just doing the voiceover afterwards. Because I think if I did this, recording the video, doing the voiceover, making the beat, I don't think my computer can actually take that CPU usage. So I'm just doing a little voiceover here after the fact. Still looks like I'm working on the melody, and I'll have to listen to this back. Maybe it sounds crazy with my voiceover, everything. Maybe I'm interjecting too much, but yeah, still looks like I'm working on the beat or the melody here. Let's see if I do anything else. And this is probably like one of the things that takes like the most time. The drum pattern too. So that's why I try to do the drums first, and then the melody after that, because I make the melody based on what the drums sound like. But I think the drums and melody are probably the most important steps in the beat making process, at least for me. I think another one too, if I actually did this, would be finding samples, but I haven't really been doing that at all. But I should probably start, because I think good samples, having samples is actually really, that is something too that you might not even notice, but that I think can make the difference between like a good beat and like a really awesome beat. So what it looks like here, let me see. So I have an EQ on there, and I've just taken out the low end of the melody synth sound. And that is because that's just a habit I've gone into, but I think the low end is more designated just for the 808 or the bass sound. So anything else, and I mean the kicks too, I guess. So the melody doesn't really need a lot of low end, and sometimes I think it just sounds cool with the low end taken out. So that's what I've done here. Looks like I'm just still working on this melody, and I think I might have had like a delay or chorus added in as well, but I've muted the chorus because I didn't like the way it sounded. Oh, and right now I am just adding like a kind of like a counter melody, if that's the right word for it. I don't know if that is necessarily the right word for it, but it's just like another melody, and I'm gonna break these two up, but I'm just mapping it out on that track just so I can hear how it all sounds without having to switch between two MIDI tracks. And so I've got the delay, I have a couple audio plugins that I set up. So I mean, you can add delay, reverb, EQ compressor. You can all do that all right within the Serum plugin, but sometimes there's some Ableton audio plugins that sound, or whatever, they just work better in some cases, I suppose. Yeah, so it looks like this is almost done here. Still working on this counter melody, just getting those notes placed in the right spot. Yep. Now I'm going to break that up here so that higher melody can isolate, and then the lower kind of like arpeggio kind of thing, that is going to be isolated to its own MIDI track. And so that's similar idea with the drum pattern, just so I can bring that in and out at some points throughout the beat and just be able to do that easily. Yep, so we are making our way through this beat here. What am I doing? That's just a filter. Just playing around with the filter there. Adding it on the counter melody as well. You can bring that down a lot. I'm thinking here by the mouse, the way the mouse is moving around. Okay, now I'm adding another MIDI. I think that's going to be like a piano sound. I'm just going to lower it. And I am looking for another sound here, because I'm not satisfied with that bell sound for the arpeggio type melody. And I am looking for sounds here. I just pick like a random sound, and that's a default preset from Serum. So it has some good presets. I think this is the one I picked. And if I remember correctly, yeah, there's some delay that I'm going to get rid of. So at first I'm seeing, okay, so the delay is Serum better. And I decide, no, it's not. So I go back, take that delay out, and then see what it sounds like with the delay, the Ableton stop delay, which I thought sounded better. Okay, now here we go, we're making a piano sound. Contact plugin. This is a good natural sounding piano sound. And what am I doing there? Oh, I'm just copying the notes in so I can have a better idea of what the chords for the piano are going to sound like. Yeah, so I'm just moving those notes around. Just trying to figure out those chords. Yeah, get rid of all that. Don't need it. Whoa, what's going on there? There's a note that's really short. Lengthen that up. Make those longer. Basic stuff. This is nothing crazy here. And those last two chords didn't sound right, so I end up changing those. And what am I doing? Oh, I think I'm just raising it up an octave. Or two, maybe a couple octaves. And I think that was the arpeggio. I just brought down the filter a little bit. Yeah, so these chords, they don't sound right, so I have to fix that. And I think I end up just getting rid of that last one there. Yep. And that doesn't have to be super crazy. That's kind of just like giving it some more texture, I guess. And I'm just going to duplicate that and put that every other 8 bars or measures. Don't know the exact right term for that. I think it's bars and measures. I don't know. Just every other 8. And now it's kind of coming together here. I can't hear it, but just from the looks of it, I'm getting a pattern going here. And that is the counter melody that I'm just adding every other like 16 it looks like. Cymbal, this is what I've been doing lately. I've just been adding the cymbal every other 8 bars measures. And hi-hats. I switch that up. Sometimes I'll have it go. So the way I structure these beats is there's like a little 8-bar intro, and then what I think the first hook would be, that's what comes next, and then the verse, then another hook, and then another verse, and then another hook, then I end it. And the hooks are like 16 bars, or maybe they're just 8 bars, or maybe they should be. Yeah, I think there's 16 bars, and then I mean, when I like try to test vocals, do test vocals over the beat, makes sense. But basically, the hook is half as long as the verse. So, and I guess too, like if like for this, the BPM is set to 145. So I guess that is the like doubled. Like that's the BPM doubled, so it wouldn't be. So I guess what you could think of. So it says 16 there. The length of that is 16, but if the BPM's doubled, then that would just be 8. So a verse, you typically think of a verse as being 16 bars, and on this project file, it doesn't. It says 32 bars, and that would be the length of a verse. But if this BPM is doubled, then that works out. So if the BPM isn't 145, it's whatever, 72.5, then this all makes sense. So the hook basically is just 8 bars, and then the verse is 16 bars. And I'm just working that all out right now, it looks like. And I'm just taking out that kick for one of the sections of the verse, the third quadrant of the verse. And right now, this is the 808 I'm working on. I have like a sound I always use. I really like the sound. Maybe one of the things that I haven't done, but I probably Progressive, which is another like synth plugin, and I don't use it a ton, but for the 808, I use it just because I know that I have a good 808 sound. Yeah. And usually what I do for the 808, I put it on the kicks, in the key of the melody. Not every kick, but if it's hitting, it's usually on a kick. And some kicks don't have an 808 on them, but basically, most of the time, if I'm adding a 808, I want to put it on when the kick hits. And there's one that's not on the yeah, it's still not lined up right. But I'll figure that out. And I remember this just being a high key, so I lower it like a so it's like, but if you look, B comes right before C. So if it's B2, and I usually have the 808 in 2 just because that's the plug-in. I don't know if it's pitched down, if you want this, but usually I always have the 808 in 2 B2. So any note on that octave, I have the 808. So this is like one before it goes to C3, so I do want to lower it a little bit, just because it's going to sound like the 808's not going to sound deep enough. So that's what I end up doing here. And I'm just trying to figure out what that last note is for the 808. And I can't really hear it right when I'm just listening to it with the 808 sound, so I'm going and to see how it sounds in the piano, because it's just easier to figure out what is the right note. And it was like F sharp or something. What am I doing here? Okay, yeah, I'm just bringing it down like a couple notes, just so that 808 doesn't sound too high. So it's nice to have like a nice deep 808 sound, I think. Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out what sounds better. Just replacing those piano sounds. Bring the 808 down a little bit. Now I'm gonna put it, so that's coming in at the second half of the verse. The 808's gonna come in, and then the kick is not gonna be there, but then the kick comes in, and then it goes into the hook again. Yeah, that counter melody has to come down too. Duplicating that. Nothing too crazy. It's just a beat. And what I'm doing here. So I have a template that I've made. So what this template does. Some of these sounds are they have like a filter on them. I don't think the drums do, but the melody definitely does. And then the filter is cutting out all the low end. And then the sub I think the top drums, they might have some filter on them. I'm not sure. Maybe I can go more into detail about that in another video, but I didn't make up this template on my own. I just found it from another YouTube video, but I've been using it. It's really, I think it's really helpful. And I think there's like a fab filter limiter on each of those groups. And so yeah, I don't explain that in this, but maybe in a future video I could go into more detail. But again, I didn't come up with the template, I just got it from a video. So maybe look up like Ableton project and see what comes up. But that definitely helps with like making it sound more polished. I mean, having the cutting out all the low end on all the like melody sounds and only having it on the 808 sound. That is like something to me that was like pretty game changer type of a thing that I learned. Just having the bass sounds only having low end. I think that helps all of my mixes. And you can do that without having a template, but it's just way easier to have it set up like this, so I don't have to manually put in like a filter on each one of those MIDI tracks or each one of those groups. The template just does it because it's set up where some of these groups are routing to one chain, and then the bass sound is routing to another chain with no filter cutting out the low end. And right now I'm just adding a filter to the hi-hats and snares, and that's just gonna kind of make them fade out a little bit at the end. Yep. Yeah, just so that's the end of the beat, but there are a couple things that I do here to make it even sound a little more polished, and I will explain that once I start doing it in this video. Okay, this is another thing that I haven't been doing forever, but having these little tricks has definitely helped improve the quality of all the productions that I've done. This is just a compressor. I'm side-chaining the 808 to the kick, and I think the attack is all the way down, the ratio is all the way up, and then the release, I've set it to auto, which goes by the BPM of the project, and that's what I do for all of the side chain stuff. It's like the same. I guess those are the same settings. And then for these projects, I usually do it, I think minus 10 for these beats. So whenever the kick hits, the 808 will duck down 10 dBs. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh, I think this is the master track. And basically, yeah, just get rid of that chorus. And I'm putting sidechaining on a lot of these sounds. And also adding the compressor, just compressing it once it gets too spicy. spicy to release or reduce a little bit of that spiciness. Probably not the right terminology, but yeah, you can see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but you can see that red clip button flashing red a little bit. So I've added the glue compressor to a couple of them just to try to reduce that or get rid of it entirely. So I think the snare, I added a glue compressor, and that's just to make it sound a little bit, just a little more polished. The glue compressor, Ableton's glue compressor, I like. Not that I've used a ton of other ones, but that default glue compressor I like. And I usually try to have it like not compressing a ton. So between 1 and 5 there, if you can see that dial, whenever that kick hits, I think is when it compresses a lot. So I don't want to have that over 5. Maybe that's dBs. I'm not sure, but whatever the dial, just have it between 1 and 5 on the glue compressor put in there. And yeah, so I can't hear this right now, but I just remember whenever I add this in the ozone, there's gonna be some clipping for sure. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, like I'm recording this, but even when I'm not recording, whenever I add in ozone, it definitely takes up a lot of processing power, so it kind of, you get the crackles and everything like that. But so that's why I added it at the end, and I pretty much use the same preset every time that I load it in. So as long as the mix is okay, the ozone isn't really going to affect the mix. It's just going to boost the sound of everything. So if everything's mixed properly, it shouldn't really change anything fundamentally. It's just going to boost everything. So that's why I added in at the end, and I don't really play around with the settings in ozone a lot. But most of the time when I'm working on something, I don't have the ozone plugin added in, just because it really kills the process. It takes up all the process. I just can't. You can hear it, I'm guessing, crackle, which is not good.